Hello and welcome to Actual Play, beginning of a brand new show of Mnemonic with Dee Penway, who's right above me, the creator of the game we'll be running today. I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner. And I am making the channel announcement for everybody that all the proceeds from Actual Play are going indefinitely, being split between Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense Fund. So if you like the show, please, and you want to contribute to us, that will get forwarded to them. If you want to contribute directly, that is wonderful too. If you don't like the show, contribute anyway, because even if the show's bad, those are worthwhile causes that you should contribute to. I'll be putting some links both into places you can donate, as well as to actions you can take that aren't monetary. So you can help out in lots of different ways, and we appreciate it. How about you, Misha?
Hi, Misha B. I use she, her pronouns. I am excited to play. I've been kind of like following along on Twitter as it's going, and so I've been. It's been one of those. Ooh, I wonder what that's like. So we'll get to experience it now. How about you? I think Cincy was next.
Jess is next.
Jess is next. Sorry.
No problem.
Jess is next. Yeah, our windows are different than the layout. It's me. I'm Jess. I use they, them pronouns. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. Super excited to be here. I've been following Mnemonic like a hawk, and I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready to be taken on this journey.
How about you, Zen?
So hi, I'm Sin, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm kind of excited for getting to play this for the first time because, much like Jess, I've been kind of keeping an eye on it and talking about it and thinking about the things that I would like to build with it. So I'm very excited to see how this first playthrough goes.
How about you, Dee?
Hi, I'm Dee. I created this setting. It's weird to say that because there's no canon for this setting, but I created it. I gave it a name. I use they, them pronouns. I'm also running the Kickstarter campaign for A Weaver's Almanac, which is what this is all about, which launches August 15th. And I'm really excited about getting everybody into that. And I'm really excited to play Mnemonic tonight.
Yeah, very, very cool. I put the link to the Kickstarter preview in chat. So if anyone wants to join, you click on that and choose follow. You will be notified when the Kickstarter goes live.
It's really great.
Do you want to tell us about how we play this game? What our first
Yeah.
steps are?
Yeah, so Mnemonic is a world, and it's a game where every session you decide kind of what you want to do. So for our Weaver's Almanac, we're creating 4 session frameworks. There's the first gathering where we introduce our characters and we kind of step into the world. There's another one, Into the Gray. The name keeps changing. Into the Gray, where we just play out scenes and we solve problems and we accept costs and ask for help and do a little magic. And then there's Deck Burner, which is like, that episode of that favorite TV show that you watched where like all the main characters like go and storm the castle and like try to rescue Entrapta, who's been captured by the Horde. It's kind of like that. It's like a mad dash gauntlet through a whole bunch of obstacles and bad guys and facing down your rival in a dark hallway and trying not to kiss.
I was going to say, and making out with them? Wait.
Maybe. I don't know. And then there's Laid to Rest, which we may or may not play through, which is when someone doesn't make it out of one of those adventures and we have to say goodbye. So tonight, we're just doing the first gathering where we introduce ourselves, which seems appropriate. since we're introducing ourselves.
Seems like a nice way to start any game.
So I've got the Google Doc in front of me.
Yeah, it is on screen as well.
So would we like to popcorn style everyone read a paragraph? Or would you like me to read it all?
No, let's rotate.
I'll-
I don't want to strain your.
all the reading, D, all of it. All of it.
Yes. Let's keep going around. In Mnemonic, we don't play the heroes of the story. We play the storytellers, telling the story of the heroes. In the first gathering, we meet ourselves as storytellers, and we introduce the characters who will share the focus of the story we tell. Before we blah blah blah, when I can use words, mouth words, before we can begin the story of your group's journey together, each of us must have a character to play. Resist the impulse to do this part by yourself before the group has arrived. We do this part together because the people in our story will change and evolve in response to each other, and from the very moment we imagine them into being. By the end of this process, each character in the story will have a strong suit, a name, a place in a home, a place to call home, and a role to play, among the other details needed or appropriate. Anytime that you change the detail of your character, just inform the rest of the group when you need to change something.
Can I read that part?
Yeah.
Cool. So to play this first gathering, you won't need anything except some way to keep track of information you want to remember. For future sessions, however, you will also need a shuffled deck of 54 poker cards to share as a group, some 6-sided dice with numbers 1 to 6 on each side, much like these, and an optional set of 13 6-sided die that are all distinct from each other. But that's optional, so you don't have to do that.
But if you can, it's really cool.
I mean, and we want to do the cool things. So all 3 of these are completely different. When everyone is settled into the space and you're ready to start, begin with the questions we ask ourselves and each other. You may have one person read or pass the text between players, kind of like we're doing now. Please read the full text of each question before answering.
Below are a set of questions for each member of the group to consider. For questions pertaining to the whole group, discuss the answer together. Optional questions are optional. Any player may decline to answer those for any reason. Keep discussions brief. You'll have plenty of time as the game progresses to flesh out your characters and the communities in which they live. As a matter of pacing, expect each question to take no more than 1 minute per player, but resist the urge to set timers to restrict responses.
I appreciate that call out. I'd be super anxious with timers everywhere.
You have 48 seconds remaining.
The little tiny plastic hourglass is flipping over now.
I have one if we need it.
It says it's a minute, but it's really 37 seconds.
Oh no.
Speaking of lies, the lie. What lie has your community tried to make you believe about yourself? And the options are: I speak too much, I don't try hard enough, I'm not smart, I'm dangerous, I'm better off alone, I'm only as valuable as the things I create. Wow, D.
Yeah, D. These are a little ow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I feel a little
so-
personal. I feel attacked. So should we each pick one of those lies for our characters?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to make up additional lies?
I mean, the rules aren't canon. If you've got one that you want to invent, I accept hacks on the fly.
The optional there too. When did you realize this lie wasn't true, and when did you forget? Like, what do we? Yeah, I'm ready. Punch me.
No, I
in.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
I'm
this
gonna
is-
skip the bleed options and
Like
go
here.
with I'm dangerous.
We're just gonna go over here and just say, if you didn't come here for feels today, then this was the wrong day. Like you're
Yes,
going to
but-
catch them.
There's feels and there's oh my god, this is me. So Yeah.
Mm.
Buffering.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't for you. That was for the audience who's watching. Because it's kind of like
Yes,
y'all listening to these
please.
questions too. And if you're following along and you were not prepared for feels today, go and get yourself a cup of water. It's going to take you a minute.
We gather gamer tears. They power us.
Oh no. Hmm.
Game of Thrones, but Game of Tears instead. I think I'm gonna go with I'm not smart. That feels like a particularly violent one. I mean,
It's so big.
yeah, something I've felt many times. I mean, I felt all of these many times, so that's worth it.
I'm going to pick the very very relatable one that we have right now, which is I'm only as valuable as the things I create.
Yeah, I couldn't do that one. That was too much bleed.
Right?
Whoa. Well, I'll go with I don't try hard enough.
So about that last one, that question that I went for is just kind of like, oh, that one was recent too. We're just gonna roll with it. Because then I get to answer the optional question.
Ooh.
I'm going with I'm better off alone. Because I'm going all in on bleed.
Yeah.
Didn't come to play.
And Misha, you picked
Came to
I'm
play.
Dangerous?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't know if everyone's writing these down. I am a compulsive note taker, so I'm writing everything I can down, but I might not get everyone. So gonna need D to stop cribbing design notes from Discord discussions of my insecurities.
Yikes.
Thanks, Vince. We love you. It'll be okay.
Yikes. Okay. Misha, you want to read the source?
Sure. The source. Where do you derive your strength? Is it from the company of others? From the work that I do? From spite for those who did me wrong? From knowledge of the goal ahead? From the world around me? From nothing. I haven't found it yet.
Oh
Optional.
my god.
How do you help your fins find strength of their own?
Sweet baby Jeebus.
Yeah. Choosing the non-bleed options.
I might need to add like, you know how in a restaurant menu, like they do like the little chili pepper for the
Yes.
spicy one. They'll just have like a little blood drop.
Yeah.
No, I think you should just actually add like little little chili pepper symbols next to it and say,
Yeah.
This one's spicy.
I'm like, yeah, this is spicy choice.
Yeah. I like
We're
it.
not hiding anything here.
Whoa.
I think I'm gonna pick from the world around me because it's big enough to mean the things I want it to mean.
Ooh.
I gotta choose spite. I'm sorry. I'm totally a spite-driven monster.
It's
I
a
mean, honestly,
motivator.
considering the way 2020 has gone, I think if we're at this point, it's probably because of pure spite.
That's always been me. You tell me not to do something, yeah, I guess what's happening.
Mm.
I'm gonna say from the company of others, which is both hopeful and if I believe that I'm not smart in the company of others, also tragic. So I think it's good times.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. If I'm not trying hard enough, I'm going to derive my strength from, yeah, we're going full spicy, from nothing. I haven't found it yet.
Ooh.
I think we okay with doubling up on answers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I don't know.
I'm also going to go with I draw on my strengths from the company of others.
Cool.
Seems like a good pairing with I'm better off alone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah. I basically am already realizing I'm playing my grade school self right now.
Oh, honey.
It's all good. I was like, I'm not going to do something that's too hypely. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. Never
I
mind.
recognize this.
It's maybe not me this moment, but it's close. Okay.
Okay, wait. First off, Sinziak, are you wearing a hat with a character that is dabbing?
It's a dabbing unicorn. That's
Okay.
right.
Oh, that's dope.
That's amazing.
So this is one of two hats that got mailed to my office because people were just like, hey, I saw this and immediately thought of you. And so now I have one. The other one is Kermit the Frog with a cup of tea.
Nice.
That's
So
super relevant.
So we might get that after the break.
Well then, on to the power, yeah?
Yeah. Do you want to read us?
I should, if I said it, I should definitely pick it up.
Yeah,
My bad.
Do it.
What is your greatest personal strength? We've got options for physical prowess, related to the spades in terms of your strong suit. We've got clever solutions as the clubs. Interpersonal relations for the hearts. Wow, that was clever. And finally, adaptability to change. Strong suit as the diamonds.
Definitely diamonds.
I was thinking the same.
I didn't even have to think about that, and I don't know what that says about me. Also, is it just me or is anybody else thinking of songs by Sting at this moment?
Ooh. I am now.
Well, yeah, I know. I was like, I am now.
You put it out there.
Don't stand.
I'm going to go with clever solutions, which puts me on clubs.
I'll go interpersonal relations.
Ooh, I dig it. I think I will round it out with physical prowess with the spades. Nisha is dangerous for our feelings.
I will make you feel things whether you want to or not.
Dear chat, we
I
warned you.
consent.
Yeah, we totally, completely and utterly warned you.
This stream has an open door policy. You can turn us off anytime you don't want to see it.
This
Also,
is the part
you know
where
you want to
Lemony
see
Snicket
it,
comes
so
on. Lemony Snicket comes on and says, it's not too late to watch a stream about a happy little elf.
Yeah, exactly.
They're there, I promise. It's not here.
Sure, there's somebody. Yeah. The mask. In order to survive the gray, everyone has a mask that protects them from the mists that warp memory and cause travelers to lose their way. What is your mask made of? Wood, stone, crystal, metal, glass, or cloth? Optional, describe your mask. What shape is it? What colors make up its design? Is it plain or is it decorated? Does it cover your mouth, your eyes, your head?
Picking glass.
Nice.
If y'all are still thinking, I want to say that this mask is pretty opaque. It's mostly clear as the base, but then the opaque parts are like smoky gray and they're like streaks, kind of like claw marks raking across the face of the mask.
I'm gonna go metal. It's kind of a domino, but like filigree, kind of swirling around. Mostly covers from about here up. Mostly because I know where I can find one of those for next time.
Like, I can bring
Oh,
one for
crap.
next
Like a
time.
masquerade mask, a
Uh,
Venetian.
Yeah.
my mask is crystal. It's made of a bunch of different crystals that sort of jut out, like quartzes that sort of jut out. I think its general shape is a little bit like Groot's head. It's kind of triangular in shape, and it covers the whole face with just holes for the eyes and the mouth. And it looks like a heavy, bulky thing that would just like weigh you down. I think I might lean over often because of sort of the weight of it.
So like if you took a geode and made it into a mask kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like invert a geode, right? So instead of it going in, it's going out, and yeah, and
Cool,
then
cool,
there's holes for the eyes and mouth.
I would say mine is cloth. It is cloth, and it is has a fuchsia background and a bunch of sunflower patterns.
You gonna be okay with that bleed over there?
Maybe it also covers my eyes.
Damn.
Ooh.
My mask is also cloth. It covers my mouth and my nose, but not my eyes. It's basically what everyone should be wearing right now when you go out.
You're just playing the responsible person here.
Yeah. My mask is handmade, and it's dyed many different colors. I might have more than one.
Many different colors, like tie-dye-esque, or
Yeah,
you're swapping
like-
out the masks?
I think both.
Okay.
But I think it's like each one is like many different colors.
I'm about this.
Okay.
All right, so next up is the silhouette. What do you wear that changes the shape of your shadow? A dress or skirt, a suit of armor, a cloak or cape, a hat, a scarf. Nothing. My garb is fitted to my form. Optional. What does your silhouette remind people of when they see it but don't see you?
This is going to be a difficult question to answer.
For me, it's definitely a scarf. It's a long knit scarf that resembles a serpent when someone sees the shadow of it without seeing me, just as it's hanging down. And I think it gets wrapped around, and it looks alternately like it's very cozy or like it's constricting around me. One of the two, just sort of depending on the mood.
Beautiful. What color is it?
It's knit, and so there are patterns in it, and the patterns are autumnal colors. There's oranges and reds, and browns in it.
I think I have to go with the swish of a cape because, capes are cool. I don't care what the mode says.
Give
I was
us-
about to say.
Give us Met Gala realness.
Exactly. Swish.
Swishy cake.
I'm going to go with a skirt. Knee length and flowy. And it reminds people of like swaying leaves on a tree.
I want to say I know it's not, again, it's one of those, I know that it's not on here, but I want to say a robe. And I would say it looks like it would be one of those. You reminded me of, but it couldn't be them. I haven't seen them in forever.
I was fine until you asked me about clothes and how it defines my silhouette. Now I'm like, these are big questions and I'm having feelings. Okay. I'm gonna say a suit of armor, but it's just leather, like leather gherkins kind of style situation. Very ritualistic when I put it on. I will probably need someone in the camp to help tie the final dressings, but there it is.
Are we ready for the limit? Yeah.
Do it.
I'll read that one. What is something that causes you to falter or hesitate or stop your progress altogether? A limit can be something physical, such as a movement disability, or it might be something less tangible, such as a fear of close spaces or difficulty with numbers. You can name more than one thing. Players, this is a chance to think about boundaries for your character as well as for yourself. If there's something that you know you don't want to explore or experience in the story, you can name it as a limitation for your character, or you can name it as a limitation for yourself. You can name additional limitations at any time during the game. For example, D has a fear of heights, but wants their character to not have that same fear. So they say, my character isn't afraid of heights, but I am. So if we get into a scenario where we're up high, I would like to not deal with ideas of vertigo or looking down into the abyss. Be careful if you set a limit for your character that the group is prepared to treat that limit respectfully. Resist the urge to make light of a character's limits. And if you find you are unable to handle these elements with care, we strongly encourage you to remove them from play.
These are warm, fuzzy, serious words. Just like, hey, be responsible and don't do things. Like, don't be mean. I kind of enjoy the fact that that's just straight up in the rules of these things. Kind of like, you can't argue with it. It's right there. Just like, hey, if you're going to make fun of my fear of spiders, then we're not going to talk about spiders.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just started playing Grounded to see if I could handle the spiders. I couldn't. Okay.
See, look, we just have
on the next question.
See, we now have that whole thing right there where we're just like, hey, not a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Spiders are overrated. We don't need spiders. So Misha has an aversion to eyeball trauma, so if we just stay away from that, that'd be great.
Have what?
An aversion to eyeball trauma? Like, I can't even watch my husband put in his contacts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Valid.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
It's pretty squicky.
Yeah. It's yeah. Doesn't make.
Yeah, I hate you, Spale. I think it's a common one. Anyone.
You know, the thing I feel that is limiting is weird. Because like, are we talking about this from the standpoint of character as a personal thing?
I mean, both.
Yeah, I feel like we're given the option to say it feels to me like we're talking not only about the things that are uncomfortable for us, but how close we want to get to them. Because I feel like if we say I as a player, like Misha has said, her limit, we won't have any eyeball trauma in the game because that's like not a thing that she wants.
Yeah.
But if your character has a limit of like, you know, I'm afraid to speak in crowds, or I'm afraid to come out to my parents, or I'm afraid to like whatever that may be, then that feels like that might be something we do want in game, but we just want to treat it very respectfully because that is a major challenge for the character, but something that we want to see. I'm not sure if I'm misreading that.
Yeah.
There, D.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like the difference between my character is afraid of heights, but I'm not. So let's put my character in high places and see what happens, versus my character's afraid of heights and I am also afraid of heights. So let's not do that.
Got it.
I think my character has a hard time reading people.
From a social standpoint.
Yeah, like
Okay.
like what's this situation? How am I supposed to act? Did I say the wrong thing?
I think my character is the butt of a lot of jokes.
Puppy. Okay. My character's limit. I have an aversion to being asked about my own emotions. So I probably talk enough in direct conversations to check in on other people.
Jess, are we
Jess,
going for feels again?
excuse me. Excuse me. First thing I was in the middle of. Here, I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to put my notes up to the camera real quick, right? So these things read,
Oh.
speaking my true feelings about mundane things. Now, Jess,
That's fine.
you know what?
It
Fine.
manifests in many different ways, so we can easily play that same root limit.
See, and I'm just,
That's very fair.
Yeah, like please
It's
don't
relatable.
take it away. Go
Yeah.
for that.
One, I feel seen and attacked at the same
At the
time.
same time.
Called out.
Like, okay, just drag me then. That's
Yep.
happening.
Just put me right there. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
well, I
fine.
mean, we're gonna point it straight back to D. Like that points truth to power in this game's setup and the framework that is here. These are very hard questions that we're asking. Does anyone have multiple limits?
I think the other thing for me is I'm kind of like going back and forth with this one, and I'm like, do I want to do this? Yes, but, and I'm like, that means you want to do it and you should. So that's where I'm at with this one, which is specifically expressing either anger or sadness.
Ow.
Because it's, you know, it's the thing of,
I feel ya.
so the things that I'm experiencing have hurt me and have caused these responses, but I can't let you know that you did that.
Yeah, because that would give power to the other party.
Yep.
And it's another reason to
Mention that I
diminish
have
or denigrate
masochistic
you.
tendencies at this moment because I feel like I should.
Yeah, I don't know if you have chat open, but you do have a question. I can read it to you.
Seeing an attack, it's a cold shot.
Vince wants to know, if you, the player, have a limit you aren't comfortable saying publicly, is that where you'd emphasize the use of additional safety tools that allow for anonymous communication? Yes, absolutely. Yep, that's a good point. So if you have a limit that you want us to respect, but you don't feel comfortable saying,
Yeah, Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a
And in like an
um,
online
gotta-
version in like this setting, we easily set up a sheet that we can anonymously put up.
mhm. Like
I kind of appreciate the fact here that you have a whole thing of, all right, so y'all sat here and looked at each other and looked at the same piece of paper and said, hey, do not and don't. So if you do it and you catch these hands, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Please don't throw hands at your table. Just kind of like talk these things out and hopefully everybody will be respectful.
Use your words first.
Listen,
Gotta be a better way.
I have to
Sometimes there's not.
I have to indicate those processes only because Twitch has a terms of service.
Fair. All right, so I'm going to say my character has trouble standing up for herself, but not for others.
Yep. Okay. That's great.
not to
Love
mention
it.
throwing hands would violate social distancing. Thanks. Good call. All right. We can return to the limit anytime we like, and we can add more things. So that's a good thing to remember and also I think one of the initial rules that we read was that our characters will change through play. So if any of these things come out, our limits or other things come up, we can change them, we can retcon them, we can revise them in play. All that's to say, I'm going to move on to the next category, knowing we can always return to this one at any time we need to. The form. What species best describes your physical form? Drake, Fae, Gemfolk, human, Spiderkin, Sunchild. Optionally, describe your physical form to us. How do you differ from others like you?
I am absolutely Fae, like 500% Fae.
Yeah, I gotta go Drake. I mean, it's right there.
And I say Fae because it's one for whom the world's memory is indistinct, I'm assuming, from just like their own kind of normal memories, I would say. And I like that idea, at least for what I want my character to be, which is, they're just kind of see all of those, like both the world that they're in and kind of what's beyond as just one cohesive thing and not two separate things.
Damn.
The true things. These are true things. So basically, here's a game about telling the truth, but telling it in a fictional setting, and I was not prepared for this.
I mean that's science fiction.
We all had the same document, Sin.
I mean, I read the stop sign, but I wasn't prepared to stop,
It's true. Very, very different experience. This is like my third time reading through this document, but to like live go through it and put words to power and action. Okay. I'm waffling between a couple different forms. So Sean, if you have a preference.
I'm thinking Fae as well, and I'm thinking sort of ogre-ish, very like large and sort of bumbling Fae. And somewhere in the space between like an ogre and a troll, and maybe big kind of clunky clumsy fingers, and like rarely fits well in spaces meant for humans.
Can we, the party, just never make fun of Sean's character ever?
I mean, it's
something we see like limits. We can just put that right there, and we can just not do it.
Like, I know the canon is that you have that history and those memories, but I feel like we're family.
You know,
Well, just because
maybe
other
we're the
people have made fun of Sean's
Yeah.
character doesn't
Yeah,
mean
I mean,
we have made fun of Sean's
we
character.
might be the first people who don't do it.
And I
Yeah.
think that would be lovely and wonderful. And I can still have tons of insecurities about the moment it might happen anyway. But you know, I think it's a real sweet thing. Thank you, Jess. It's a very kind overture.
Okay. So you are a beautiful, beautiful fae. I'm gonna lock in the choice, and I would like to be gem folk. Those who can change their shape at will. You can't see me if I keep changing shape. Not gonna notice who I am.
Oh, do I look sad right now? How about now? Now I look different. This must not look sad either.
I'm good at blending into conversations and crowds.
Whew.
I was also going to be a gem folk because I often wish I could like completely change my appearance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm just gonna, you know what?
Wondering when's the first time Sin's gonna walk off?
Is this what we're going for at this moment? You know, the funny thing is, I feel like if I were making an analogy to myself in real life, I really would be gem folk and not fae.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of I don't know if I've said this in like the team chats for the like the project, but like the line between fae and gem folk is very blurry to me. And like there's a lot about the two that I'm like, are they the same? Are they different? Are they two sides of like the same kind of variation? Is it? I don't know. So
Sure.
I'm with you there.
Are they different interpretations of unearthly creatures?
Right?
Sean, would you say that your character would be described as a himbo? That could be. That could be. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of them as especially attractive, but yeah, all the other characteristics I think of himbo sound about right. I have a feeling like sometimes when I'm around people, we're trying to do something that like no matter what I do, I'm in like the wrong space. Like if we're trying to like cook together or like work together, like I don't know how to not be in the wrong space, and that is just a feeling that I have experienced. So I think that I'm like and emphasizing that in this character, that they're just like always like, oh no, like they would be terrified to dance because they would just know that they would step on someone's toes. That is the vision. That's the origin of this idea. Sorry, Jess, I think I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, that's fine. I'm just now envisioning this ogre fae folk being apologetic for their existence, and I'm just like, I signed up for this. I'm okay. This is fine. I need to
This is
protect.
fine. We're not gonna cry on camera yet.
So I would say the three things that define me as a fae would be having green hair, having amber eyes, and having really quiet footsteps.
Those are distinct. I like them.
Yeah.
Are we moving on?
I think we can move on unless anyone else wants to like describe themselves. I think I have blue hair. I think my hair is just naturally blue, and I think it's just always blue. You know,
Even
No
when
How
matter
you
what-
luscious
shave.
is it?
oh, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Like the length might change, but it's always like incredibly. Like I don't even have to wash it.
Like electric blue hair.
Yeah.
Like blue hair.
Mm.
Like
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Blue double D hair.
Like me from Big Bad Con last year, blue. I have some pictures.
Okay, I will require those because I cannot imagine how blue that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I'll find them and put them on Twitter
20
later.
minutes ago. Come on.
I think by default, the shape that I am most comfortable with is probably more burly, like closer to Bismuth from Steven Universe, but then really short hair and like a perfectly coiffed pompadour at all times.
Did you just say a rainbow pompadour?
A perfectly coiffed, but now it is rainbow. Thank you.
Because I was like, wait, bismuth. And every time I see bismuth, I just think of
All the colors.
what the gems is. Yeah, all the colors.
Yeah. I love the fractal aspect of bismuth.
This is where I confess I haven't actually seen Steven Universe yet.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Me neither.
It's okay.
It's a good one, but
Just haven't gotten to it.
Next week's stream is canceled. We're just watching Steven Universe
yeah,
then.
we're just gonna mainline it. Seasons 1 through 4.
Is that my
Hulu.
homework
Season
between now
5
and
is
next
on
week? I have
HBO
to watch all of
Max.
Steven Universe.
Yeah.
How dare the next section be the name?
I know. Why did we have to answer that one, D? Could we just
Okay.
not have that in a game? Like
So-
to X card names.
I can read these.
Hold
So-
on. I have a generator.
So, introduce yourself to us and how would you like us to refer to you? Optional question: how and when did you find your name? Did you have a name before that? And do you allow anyone to use it now?
I need to
Ow.
pull up email. Before we played, I've sent a list of list of possible names that people could use, and I need to use it.
My character's name is Warren, and that is a literal name. They're actually a warren of bunnies. They actually have a bunch of holes in them, and bunnies live in them. They're sort of like, yeah, I don't know. It came to me just now. So yeah, they're named after their function, which is to be this warren. And so whenever they like sit down, like that, then they can connect to the earth. But when they're walking around, there's like bunny faces sticking out of them. We will not harm any one of these bunnies. Warren can get harmed. That's fine. But these
This
bunnies
sounds wonderful.
will not be harmed in the course of this game.
So Warren is a caretaker.
Like they think of themselves as like a house, but yeah, I think they're a caretaker.
Just picturing like this Warforged-esque fae, and now I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm.
And every now and again, a bunny pops out and goes, hello.
No bunnies shall ever be harmed.
No bunnies will get harmed. No bunnies will be imperiled overly much. I mean, they might be imperiled by like wanting a carrot or something like that, but they will not be like, will not threaten them with physical violence or anything.
Yeah.
You know. Warren is a Gundam for bunnies. Yes. There you go.
Bunny Gundam.
And Warren uses they them pronouns.
Gundam.
And now I'm very curious about how easy this is becoming. Like the more things go on for people to talk about the very specific parts of experiences that they don't want.
Can you expound upon that?
You mean
So
adding our
things
limits?
like, hey, I have bunnies, and also no harm comes to these bunnies. No physical harm comes to these bunnies. We don't put things in the narrative that bring harm to these bunnies. And I think like at the beginning, they're like, as things have progressed and we've asked more questions, especially when you establish these rules that state, if someone states a limitation of some kind about a part of an experience that they don't want, we don't make light of these, we don't make fun of these, and we remove them from play if someone ever violates that. And it just opens up so many things where someone can go, I want this, but I don't want this. But in a way that's just, refreshingly direct, not like I'm going to try to do things in a way that kind of prevents that from occurring, but you can just tell people, no, this is a thing that we do not want. And that's kind of cool.
Hard yes. Yeah, very good for normalizing it. I agree. I like that very much.
Okay, I'm committing. I'm just gonna do it. My chosen name is going to be Aurora. I think the people I choose as my family know that I had a previous name.
Are we part of the people that you choose as your family? Or is that?
Yes, I'm just trying to decide what that previous name exactly is. I know what I want to allude to.
Well, here's a question. Is that previous name mostly forgotten?
That's a good ass question that I need to think about.
Yeah. I mean, because if that's a dead name that you don't want us to think about, like maybe we know you have it, but we don't know what it is, and that's enough. Or maybe we do know what it is, but that's not your name anymore. So we're not gonna dwell on it.
I think because I'm motivated by nothing, I still am driven to find something that motivates me. I think you do know my name, and I think it is something that's pretty active in the conscious mind right now, because I would like to shed it definitively.
So if someone, how do you feel about those who are close to you using your old name in the context of something we know that you're struggling with? Like not flippantly, but in the context of, I know there's a challenge, like, and using it in conversation, or is it sort of, is it more respectful to not bring it up?
That's a good question. I'm leaning more towards the former. I don't think it's off the table, but I think it also depends on what word I finally pick.
Cool.
Yeah, fair.
Bringing up my dictionary. Who else we got?
I think my character's name is Mouse. And I think it's one of those like childhood nicknames that just kind of stuck. I think when she was little, she was really little. And so people called her Mouse. And now she can be whatever size she wants to be, but she still calls herself Mouse. I don't know that she actually remembers her given name.
No pressure.
Who? Me? My character's name is going to be M. I am.
Is this a secret? Is there something evoking here?
No, there isn't a secret here, except for I was looking at the optional question for how and when did you find your name? Did you have a name before that? Do you allow anyone to use it? And I think for M, their name wasn't found. Like they didn't go looking for it. It's just that is my name.
What pronouns does M use?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Jess, do you know what pronouns Aurora uses?
Let's go with they them for now.
Cool.
What about Mouse?
She, her.
Misha, have you told us what your character's name is yet?
I have not. I'm still deciding.
I see like the look of intense focus on Misha's face. Looks like you're scanning a names list. No, almost.
What about Warren?
Warren uses they them pronouns.
I think I'm going to go with Amaryllis.
Cool.
Amaryllis.
How do you spell that, Misha?
Amaryllis.
Cool.
It's the flower she wears most often, and that's yeah.
It's a good one.
I don't know amaryllis flowers. I am going to Google that.
They're kind of lily-like.
I was just kind of like, I think that's I was curious about whether that was a flower. It in fact is a flower. That's cool.
Oh, that's very pretty. I see amaryllis. Okay, I just didn't know their name.
They usually get forced to bloom in the winter, which is kind of an interesting. Yeah.
They're mathematically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a fractal-esque look.
Amaryllis use any pronouns?
She, her mostly.
Now that you each have a character, it's time to place them into context with each other.
I think you skipped a question.
I did. Why doesn't somebody else read it? Because I think I might have read the last. No.
Okay. I mean, I can read this question.
Yeah. Go for it.
So, which of the great cities describes the community you come from, or the one in which you live now? Below are some suggestions: Tower, Luria, Heliopolis, Ironhold, or Rinwood. So we can pick any. I think it's one of those. We can pick any of these names, or we can make a name of our own.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go ahead and.
Sorry,
go ahead.
So is this like a hometown situation, or where our collective home is?
Like a hometown thing.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up Ironhold, because I mentioned that earlier. I might have mentioned it before we were live, but Ironhold is one of the cities that I have like a clear idea of what I want it to be. It's a living city. That it's basically the city's infrastructure is like a sun child, and sun children in Mnemonic are like constructed beings. So Ironhold is like a massive sun child that is like big enough for like a big community of people to live inside it. And so there's, districts and homes and little holes in walls where you can talk to the city, and the city sometimes listens. I think that's where Mouse grew up.
I think M would come from Luria. I think Luria is also a place that would seem strange to people who weren't born there. Things like there are woods in Luria where people hear whispers but don't know where they come from, or like the laughter of children or things like that. Not that these are creepy things, but more like there's just a lot of whimsical sounds that happen whenever you walk through the woods, and people do not necessarily know where they come from.
Disembodied children laughing is pretty terrifying, right?
Ah,
Right? Like
Yeah, I mean, story checks.
I think
Vibe check, Sean. Do you never want to go to Luria in this story?
No, not at all. That's fine.
Okay.
That's so fine. I think I'm also from Ironhold. I think Warren was part of the Living City. I think Warren just sort of was a part that got up and left one day. So, I'm imagining somebody's like garden, and there was like this mound that had all these rabbits in it and all this grass and things growing on top of it. And one day it got up and left. And maybe it had left before, maybe it had moved around before, but yeah, I think Warren, Warren's babysitting, baby. Yes, so yeah, I think Warren was a sort of part of the city itself, even though they're not a sun child. They're but nevertheless, lots of things grow within it.
I take it.
I think I am from Tower.
is it a metaphorical tower? Or
No, I think it's an actual tower. It's where the last true dragon lives.
Is the Drake not a true dragon? Are you
No, we are descended from dragons, but we are not dragons ourselves.
Okay. How much do you resemble? How between dragon shape and human shape? Where does Amaryllis fit, if at all? If that's even a spectrum.
Much smaller than a dragon.
Mhm.
Probably smallish for a human.
Are you bipedal?
Yes. Scales and very, very small wings that aren't quite enough to let me fly.
How big is a dragon?
Huge. Like 4 or 5 stories tall.
Okay.
Okay. That leaves me. Aurora's gonna hail from Heliopolis, and like all good evocative names of places does, this one I dig. I think it's very much a tinkered together town that has no formal grid line. You can easily get lost in the different levels and streets of it, but there are always beacons across town that kind of are the highest points where you can recenter yourself. And that's where you see the sunrise and the sunset. Aurora doesn't go back ever if they can help it. And they don't want to go back until they can sit at a beacon and shine properly through it.
Does that mean literally shine through it?
Yes and no. I think on the surface, yes. The motivator is literally, I have never been satisfied with how the light fractalizes within my body and shines on the world.
How cognizant are you of your shadow then? That was our silhouette was a question, and you have your suit of armor. is there kind of, now that you've developed your character more, I'm wondering to what degree your suit of armor is intentionally there to obscure your shape or obscure your silhouette so that it like protects you from people being able to see the way light shines through you. Is that a good read?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like-
maybe.
Okay,
It's like, I was like not trying to be like called out here, but that's what's happening.
sorry. I just looking at like the notes and I'm like, this sort of feels like it tracks.
Yep, that's the perfect brand. Yeah, so I think all of the armor I can apply to my body by myself essentially covers every center gem. So the limbs, everything. So if I don't have anyone around me to finish the armor ritual of putting it on, then I will walk about the day as a silhouette through the light. Yep, feels great.
Now,
Can I ask a question? Who do you
Please.
turn to most to finalize the armor ritual? Or is that jumping too far ahead?
Jess's lizard brain immediately thinks who has the most dexterous fingers in this party. So I probably not the Bundum, but I'm not quite sure yet.
I was gonna say not Warren.
The Bundum. I love it. Okay.
Like I'm actually thinking about like seeing a whole title as Bundum Wing, and now like that's a whole issue. So can we just, you know what?
I need to add a couple more stretch goals to this Kickstarter so we can commission some like high-end animation Bundum art.
Yes.
It will not be canon.
I am so sorry, but I had to do it.
Oh, that's too good. Now
Yeah.
that each of you have a character, it's time to put them into context with each other. Take a moment to breathe, drink some water, do some physical exercise, and reorient yourself, and then come back to proceed to the meeting place. Would we like to all? We're
You know, like we're right at about the amount of time that we're going to be.
Yeah. So why don't we all do that? Chat, why don't you do the same? Give yourself a moment to stretch.
Well, actually, before we do that, you know something, why we do that? Because I wasn't kidding about that whole Bundum Wing thing. I'm going to do it.
We're all going to be thinking about sentient bunnies controlling badass mechs the entire break.
Right. Yeah, that sounds so cool.
I'm sorry. I have to.
Do what you gotta do.
We can do that while we're on break, and like we can look at it maybe when we get back.
I'm here for it. All right, so we're gonna take 5 or a little more, and we're gonna go make ourselves some tea, some Bundums, and we'll be back shortly.